So I want to ask you about, there's this whole idea about doing, so you said the second part about Taoism, or really what Taoism was about, was actually helping you navigate and live in the world through observing cycles of nature. And so there's this whole idea in a lot of spiritual texts about doing and then being. And in your book, The Tao of Happiness, you mentioned a couple of times about doing versus being, And I think a lot of I had interviewed a guy who's like he called it the dude Ching, which is the philosophy of the dude, which is the guy from a movie, and his philosophy it was kind of boiled down to do nothing, like whatever when stuff happens, just roll with it, dude, that kind of that, and I think a Taoist may just be poking their eyes out if they heard this dude Ching philosophy, because it's so is the Taoist about just being with what is and like sitting on the couch and just being a dude all the time? I mean, that to me seems so non-Asian to me.
Well, you and I having come from an Asian background,
Yeah,
know that, we're surrounded by relatives who are not thinking that way.
yeah,
It's
work
quite the
hard,
opposite.
study hard. If you work hard and study hard, good things will happen. Like that's the Asian equation that it was all about doing. And then every now and then when stuff gets so bad, it's like, oh no, leave it alone. So it has this doing or being, but I'd say it's weighted 80% towards doing and like 20% towards being. But going back, tracing all the way back into the origins of some of this philosophy, what don't we understand about goal setting, free will, doing, and how is it complemented with being?
Well, the primary misconception in the West is that the Tao is about doing nothing. That comes from the expression Wu Wei, which is actually more properly translated as unattached action, actions without attachments.
Hmm.
Now, it's that action is based on your observation of what's going on, and when you observe that actually nothing needs to be done, unattached action can be, in some cases, no action. In other cases, it can be minimal action, like a little reminder, a light touch, a nudge in the right direction, and that's all
Mm.
it takes. Now,
Mm.
there are certainly cases where the proper action is not just a simple nudge, but a plan, step by step, a project that you want to implement. So, in the Tao Te Ching, that's described as a journey of 1,000 miles. That's a grand undertaking. In the book, The Tao of Happiness, it's described as a flight, the flight of a majestic giant bird that is
Mm.
completing a grand journey.
Mm-hmm.
So there
Hmm.
are plenty of metaphors to justify the way that Asians are so incredibly diligent. But one thing too about these Asians is that, from what I have seen, from what you have seen, family members, relatives, Asians may be hardworking, but they're cheerful, positive, happy.
Yeah.
When they're engaged in these activities, they know where they're going, and that gives them a sense of joy.
So it isn't. So in a lot of spiritual texts, it's like, my will is thy will. It's about giving up your free will to flow with something greater, more majestic, more one with the flow of life. Um, does the Taoist have an idea about that kind of thing, or is that even a lifestyle that's part of life? Is that the being part of life?
Well, I would advise that when you, for instance, when you pray,
Hmm.
um, you are assuming that someone is listening, or that
Hmm.
someone is listening and cares and will do something, will take action, and that action will be effective and it's going to be done in a timely manner,
Right.
etc. So there's a lot of unknowns. But what you do know for a fact is that as you express your feelings, what you want to see happen in life, what you fear will happen, what you want to avoid, what you can be certain of is that your own higher self, to that higher self, your message is loud and clear. And you care about your problems. So a lot of times we say God helps those who help themselves. So I would call upon everyone's higher self to be the listening party, to take action. So it isn't just praying. It isn't just asking for divine favors, but also taking whatever actions are appropriate in the human sphere so that you complete your own duties before expecting that you will be given, assistance from providence.
Right. Okay. So this whole thing that's very popular among spiritual folks is this whole manifestation. I want the Cartier watch, or whatever it is. Oh, I want a Mercedes Benz. Whatever. Where you're trying to, maybe if I will it hard enough, I will create a quantum, reality that will mirror my own reality. What would a Taoist say to that construct of thinking?
Well, the universe mirrors you within. That's very literal. And it's also where the manifestation folks don't have a crucial piece of the puzzle. So if you are manifesting very hard from the couch,
Right.
you know, for something to appear,
Right.
but you are not manifestation, your manifestation is not powerful enough to get yourself off the couch and begin taking action toward that goal, the universe will emulate you exactly. It will also not be taking action on your behalf. So,
Ah, interesting.
but if on the
Interesting.
other hand, you begin to take meaningful steps, I want, this fancy car, so I'm going to start making up a plan on how I can conceivably do that. When you begin that action, suddenly all kinds of help comes your way. All
Mm.
kinds of things fall into place, into alignment with you. So before you know it, far sooner than anyone expects, what you are manifesting in your mind has manifested in reality.
Mm. Mm. Okay.
It means so much to me that you're listening to the show and love your support in any way by giving me comments below or to subscribe to the show or share the show with friends. Thank you again for your support. Love and blessings.